Are there further amendments to this
Mr. Chairman.
title?
Mr. Chairman.
Who's seeking recognition?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Stearns.
Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk, amendment number 7.
Reserving a point of order.
Gentlelady from Colorado reserves a point of order. The clerk will report the amendment and please have it distributed.
Amendment offered by Mr. Stearns. In section 3003B2, strike, quote, 100%, unquote, and insert, quote, 50%.
Amendments before us. The gentleman from Florida is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to direct this amendment to Mr. Pallone, who is the subcommittee chair of health, and just have sort of a talk with him. Your Governor Corzine and my Governor Chris probably would want 100% administrative costs. I agree. All I'm saying, keep the status quo. That is, when it comes to reimbursing states for administrative costs, make sure the states have something in the game, some skin in the game, some money in the game, so that they're involved too. And also make sure the federal government has some say-so when we're trying to drive down cost for Medicaid. So my amendment returns what is in the bill to what the status quo is. It forces the states to share 50% of administrative cost of Medicaid buy-in program. And when you look at this, if it was our money and the states came to us and said, we want you to pay all the Medicaid cost for our citizens of the state, we say yes. And then we say we also implement the program through administrative costs and we want you to pay all of those too, 100%. I said, well, wait a second. If I pay all the administrative costs and I pay all the costs for the health care for your citizens, what are you doing? The state has no responsibility. So, Mr. Pallone, I would just ask common sense that maybe I can convince you, like I convinced Mr. Waxman last time, to consider keeping the status quo. You and I have been up here about 20 years, you and I together, each, and we've seen this program at 50% administrative costs. Why take it up to 100%, in which the federal government loses control of it with no direction to the states to drive down costs? And lastly, the incentives for the state are such that they're just going to ask for more and more money. So I ask for a yes vote on this.
The gentleman's time has expired. Mr. Pallone,
I withdraw my reservation, Mr. Chairman.
Reservation point of order is withdrawn. Mr. Pallone, do you wish to be recognized in opposition?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I would just say to my colleague from Florida, you know, I look at this strictly from the point of view of the uninsured and the people that are suffering because of the recession. I'm not really that concerned about anybody but them. And I would be fearful that whether it's Florida, which I guess has an increasing unemployment rate, or New Jersey, where unemployment rate isn't as bad, but in both cases and in all the states, they have large budget shortfalls. And if we don't provide 100% funding and you make them pay either administrative or some kind of cost sharing, the likelihood is that they're just not going to cover these people, and the people are going to be uninsured and all the problems that stem from that. So I think we're just trying to be realistic here and saying that we want to cover people who are uninsured. We know the numbers are growing because of the recession, and the best way to ensure that, to make sure that that happens, is to pay 100% of the cost. So that's why I would oppose it.
Gentleman yield. I also would urge opposition to this. The states don't have the ability to pick up these additional costs. That's why we have an FMAP program in the bill. But for a 2-year period, while we go through this deep recession, we want the states to use the option to cover these unemployed, uninsured people. And we're not going to be able to create a whole new way to provide that care, so we'd rather use the state's Medicaid mechanism. So we'll make these people eligible. That's why we have 100% funding in it. It wouldn't work without it. This is only for 2 years. Let's do something to stimulate the economy by having health care provided for unemployed, uninsured people. And I urge opposition to the amendment. All time has expired on the amendment. All those in favor of the Stearns amendment will say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. No, the noes have it. The amendment's not agreed to.